Therapy Army, let's be having you. Let's be having you. Therapy Army, shout out. Where are you? Big up to every one of you. We've stayed solid on this channel. We never bought into Murtough bloody madness, Arnold BS, propaganda. We were here discussing it month upon month upon month. We were here telling everybody that the fan base are getting brainwashed. Some of them, it don't take that much to brainwash them. But we are here to know that we are vindicated, Therapy Army. Big up to every one of you. Big up to every one of you. We stayed grounded. We keep our eyes on the prize. We know we're not standing for anybody who's come here to prop the Glazers, whether it be Arnold, whether it is Murtough, or any other clown at this football club. We told people that the window was going to be a disgrace like every other window. Never bought into any of that. Never bought into any of that BS about this and that we're going to do this. We got no. Eric Ten Hag has been in charge of this majority-wise of the transfer. But even he has to take some heat in terms of the Mason Mount. That's one transfer I do not understand. The timing of it, the player profile, I don't understand that. I got my brother Sunash joining me in a minute, all the way from India. Football Twitter Tactico. But he's actually one of my favorite tacticos, United fan tacticos. But let me just say this, Therapy Army. We have been vindicated once again. We have been vindicated, all of us, because we keep it 100% on this channel. We don't sugarcoat it. We love our club. And you know what? That means we are hard on our club, because we're not asking them to do something magic. We're just asking them to operate like a football club. But they don't, and they do not. And I'm not having any clowns telling me about Murtough madness and Murtough Arnold madness. Not happening. Suyash, how are you, brother? I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I'm dyslexic, but big up to you. How are you? How is the family and how are you?
Good. All's good. Hopefully you can hear me all right.
Can hear you perfectly, brother.
Yeah. How are you?
How am I?
Things outside United. How are you?
Yeah, you know what? I'm good. Tired. Work is a bit tiring, but other than that, I'm good. I'm good, brother. I'm good. And it's a pleasure to have you on. First time making your debut with the Therapy Army. We hope and pray this is not the last. But big up to you, brother. And big up to everybody in the chat. Smash that like. It's Deadline Day pod, people. Deadline Day podcast. Here, Vindicated FC, mate. That's the Therapy Army. The Therapy Army are vindicated. Suyash, I need you to rate this transfer window out of 10, brother.
I'd probably say 7. 7. Okay. I think 7 is fair. I think they got a little creative. I'll be honest. Just looking at how we got the deal and putting the player, the quality that we got, the profile that we got aside. Just looking at how the deal that we got, Regulon 0 risk with that loan cancellation deal option. Mid-season, then you got Amrabat for having no money at all, literally. From that sense, I can still say it's a 7. I think we've addressed like three key areas, but if we'll only come to know once we see Højlund start playing, once we see Amrabat start playing, I think in Jan we can have a much better reflection how this went well. Like, did it went as good as 7, or was it a 4 out of 10 window? We'll come to know.
Okay. Who's your favorite signing of the transfer window? What player is your favourite signing?
It's very
Who are
close,
you
but it has
excited
to be.
about the most? Who are you excited about the most?
I'm excited about Hoyland, to be fair, because that's like a forward in a long time, and he does have like the physical and the technical attributes sort of to work well in this league, but only time will tell. I would probably say the key signing has to be Amrabat. I think that is a very important signing because the entire team is like full of direct players. We needed Sofian Amrabat like very badly, especially after Mainu got injured. I definitely feel that with Mainu, he had planned more minutes for him this season, a lot more than last season, and not having Mainu for that long. Well, that's good news on Mainu's front as well. Like he's back sooner than we expect. So yeah, having Amrabat will be very key in this midfield because I feel that's where like majority of the game is played in midfield, and his influence in terms of keeping the ball like that extra second more, that having that extra pass more, so that we can gradually move up. I think that will be key. Whether he will be able to replicate his performance like is another question because it's very easy saying that he could do that somewhere else with different expectations, different environment. But with United, if he can do that with these bunch of players, only time will tell because efficiency is key. If that drops with him, with United, then we nothing has changed basically. But yeah, I'm hoping that even though it's just one player like that, that we've improved a little bit.
Here's where I have a problem with you being, because I know you're the type of person that is glass half full. You're quite optimistic and you want to stay optimistic. I think I give this transfer window a 3.5 at the most. Actually, a 3. Maybe the 0.5 because Amrabat is the player that we got in. Big up the Leauge, Fiorentina fan. 30 million. Let's go, Amrabat. Big him up. I think it's been a shambles again. I think Manchester United was scraping. I think this FFP bullshit propaganda from the club is the biggest bullshit. Manchester United, other than Fred, have sold predominantly majority of youth players or former youth players, which is 100% guaranteed profit on any of their transfers. So it's been an absolute shambles. The brainwashing, the PR, all of it has been a shambles. We need to sell to buy BS. It's been the biggest BS. And people will parrot the same thing. I'm not saying you're doing it, but majority of people parrot because we got no money. Why? How come we haven't got money? Because it could be that we're nearly £1 billion in debt. Could that be the reason? And could that be the reason also if any financial fair play comes in? It's because of that reason. So at the end of the day, Glazeronomics and Glazers and their enablers, e.g. Murtough, Arnold, can F the fuck out of here. They can get the F out of here with that. It's been a shambles. I listened to long interview pieces that really good journalists like Henry Winter do with Eric Ten Hag, and I listened to what Eric Ten Hag is saying. He said if Manchester United want to go back to the top, quality players cost a lot of money. He wanted Manchester United tracked Caicedo, Rice, Kim Min-jae, Harry Kane. He wanted Cucurella on loan. In this football club, he can't even get the loanee signings. He can't even get his first choice. To me, the one that I've got a massive question mark over Eric Ten Hag, brother, is Mason Mount. It's Mason Mount. The timing of it is suspicious to me because if you got a player who's decided to leave Chelsea and Chelsea know he wants to leave and that the talks but negotiation are broken down way in advance and everybody reported that, then why are you getting him first? Why don't you wait till the last hours of the transfer to try a loan or put pressure on Chelsea to lower the price? Why is he the number one target? So on Murtough or Ten Hag, on all of you, absolute shameful. And that's the only, to me, signing I directly blame Erik ten Hag for. I directly blame him for that reason. And in terms of Bailly's still here, Maguire's still here, Scott McTominay's still here, Donny van der Beek is here. That's on Murtough and Arnold as well. So all in all, how do I rate this transfer? Actually, I'm reminding myself the reasons why I rated it. It's a 3, and that's being generous. Where was I getting a 3.5 from? It's a 3. Now, player profile-wise, Amrabat, if he settles in, the Liedson here is a Fiorentina fan. He told me it took him a while for them to settle in at Fiorentina. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. So if he settles in, I hope we've got a decent player. I hope we got a decent player. And the players I'm excited to see is Amrabat and Højlund. They're the only 2 players that I'm like, okay, I want to see how they play, how they fit into this, how they connect. The big thing is that do players in our team get used to, like he said, they're all direct, get used to Amrabat recycling the ball. And the biggest problem I have with the Amrabat signing, and I've got a big breaking news for you all, I don't see him going in way after the international break. He's not played any football. I don't know how many games he played in preseason, but the season he was training with the kids, so he's not played any competitive football. He's going to go away most likely with Morocco. He's going to go away with Morocco, and maybe he will get some match play. So all of you getting excited and getting giddy, thinking it's going to roll up at the Emirates on Sunday, forget about it. Forget about it. Yo, big up Nepal, man. Big up, bro. If it's you that I saw outside the stadium, big up to the brother that I saw outside the stadium with his family. Listen, there's nearly 200 of you in here. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. John Murtough is a fraud, and he is propping the Glazer and Glazonomics. The reason why I don't want anybody propping, I want the rest of the fans, the delusional, brainwash fans that doesn't take that much to brainwash. I want those to see who is the biggest problem at this football club and what lasting damage they've done to this football club, and it's the Glazers and what they continue to do. So do not take the director of football role if you cannot do the job, if you're not allowed to do the job. So
Yes, yes, brother.
Where do we go in terms of the midfield that you think that is balanced enough to take Manchester United forward this season? Who's in that midfield? What 3 are you picking in the middle?
is the midfield 3 that we'd probably never see together, at least. That I think the midfield of Amrabat, Mainu, and Bruno has got that balance where you get creativity as well as you get the composure when you need that in deeper areas. I feel like you get someone that is very good at build up, someone that is very good at defending, and you also have someone that is like, creative. So we are not just flat, like, but I don't see that happening. I feel Ten Hag is catering to the senior players sometimes, even when they're not playing well. But we'll see as the months go on. Once Mainu is back, what happens?
I'm not putting a lot of stock on an 18-year-old, and I'm not putting that level of pressure on him. I stayed away from this. I was the one that was shouting about him, watching him in that youth team with Garnacho, and he, by far, with Garnacho, stood out. Garnacho obviously got a lot of the headlines as a match winner, but just his stature. A shout out his dad, Mike. If you know, you know. I coined a phrase calling him the Stockport Paul Ince. I called him, on this channel, we've been calling him for years now, Stockport Ince. So, big up to him, but I'm superstitious, so I don't want to put the kiss of death on him. And I think Manchester United banging all their hopes on one player is not a thing that I do. And it's the same thing with Amrabat. Kenny Fan TV, Amrabat, I'd be shocked if Amrabat is anywhere near football for Manchester United anytime soon. We're also joined by my brother, NK. If you know, you know. Twitter Spaces takeover, man. The boss of Twitter Spaces. Big up to you, brother. Welcome, making your debut at the Therapy Army channel. I've had my say at the beginning of this space that Therapy Army have been vindicated. I give this transfer a 3 out of 10, and that's me being generous. I've listed all of the reasons why. So big up to you. How's the family? I hope everything's good. Sun's shining. I can see the melanin is popping out there in Miami.
Everything is good. Thanks for having me, Structure. Thanks for having me, man. Thanks for having me.
Talk to me, brother. The family's good. Everything's good, man. Good to see you. Thank you for making the time to come on this. I know you're a very busy man. NK, I need you to rate this transfer window, bro.
Sadly, I kind of like feel the same way as you are. I'll probably give it like a 3 or 4. Because to me, Structure, one thing that I value the most when it comes to transfer is planning. I like when a club have a plan together. And I like when they execute the plan, especially before the preseason, give the manager time to work with what they have, So I always value that. I feel like the clubs that are well planned, that get their business done early, you can always see it on the football pitch when the league start, But it is looking at we've done it again where it did look like we started the window good where we were trying to get the players in, but even with that, Mount came in early. He had the preseason done. Onana came in halfway through the preseason, but he still got some game done too. Holland too. They got him in late, but then he was injured, so no preseason done too. But after those 3 signings, what happened after that is what was happening last year. From the outside looking in, it looked like a club that don't have no plan after that. It's like more so like we're gonna take whatever comes our way, even with this left back cover that we're doing, with even with the Amrabat deal, from the outside looking in, it is very bad. The way in which the whole Amrabat thing, you got a player that's willing to come, not going on strike, and yet we are leaving it all the way to deadline day. And this is a player too that from the rumors and from the way people are talking, they talk about how key he is in terms of like how the manager want to play. So even if you get him in now, if he's that key, he still need time to be embedded into the system. He hasn't been playing for Florentina, which means he's short of match fitness. So by the time he get going, we might be probably maybe 6-9 points from the top of the table. Then it go back to where we were last season to where Casemiro, who was like the most important player from last season transfer window, by the time he came in, we're already playing catch up, So when they come, their impact, like you see it, but you don't see how it benefit the team. So I don't know. I'll give it a 3 or 4, man. They need to do better. The whole football club, from the owners to the director of football and the manager too, because they are part of the recruitment team. They need to do better.
100%. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't expect in it. I've been in spaces with both of you, and I've been screaming this out that ain't nothing gonna change. It's Panic FC again. For me, it's about the level of quality of player as well. And Erik ten Hag already told you at the beginning of last season, the season before, and he told you at the end of this season, and he said it explicitly in long pieces where journalists have sat down with him and done an in-depth interview. He basically said, if Manchester United want to go back to where they belong, they need to get quality, and quality players cost a lot of money these days. So if I'm going, is he truly being backed? Not really. He wanted Kim Min-jae. He wanted Gakpo. He wanted Felix on loan in January. He wanted Harry Kane. He wanted Cucurella as the loanee. Of course, I know there's no such a thing as the perfect world. Not every manager get the first choice signings. The only transfer window that I'm sticking it on him, and actually the people who backed it, because they should have been a bit more cleverer. And this is the only one that I disagree with, because on you, I understand you want your players to have that adaptation period with a manager in pre-season, so he can work his plans out the way he wants to play. But one player that we didn't need to rush to in the first couple of weeks of the transfer window was Mason Mount. What do you think of Mason Mount as a player? And do you think that he's almost a kind of like a replacement for Bruno? Really? Did we need him?
See, that's the thing. For even with the backing too, I think he's been backed to some degree, because the bit that I don't see is I don't see the plan behind the signings. You know, that's the bit that I struggle with. Like, obviously, we talk about the project. You know, when he came in, the project is always to build a team that go on and challenge for the league. But looking at in terms of like the transfer and the plan, I'm struggling to see in terms of like how we are building a title-winning team, or are we just building a team just for top four? With the Mount one, I said to you, what was the plan behind it? Because since he came in, I've seen him play a lot of like different roles, even throughout like the preseason. So I don't know what was the plan for him to come and play with Casemiro and Bruno Fernandes, or was the plan to bring Mount in and construct like a different type of midfield? I'm struggling to see what the plan is with Mount, because he's been moving him in a lot of places too. So even with that, I said to you, I didn't understand the signing, especially the way in which we went for him too. I still feel like we overpaid for him, because he was a player that was hardly playing for Chelsea. He had an injury season, and then yes, we were very quick to go buy him. When to me, I feel like we could have bought other targets. For example, a centre back. You know, we needed a centre back. Everybody knew we needed a centre back last season, because Varane is a guy you can't trust him to start. You know, you cannot trust Varane to start. He's an injury-prone player, and from the conversation that you have with people too, they talk about how the manager naturally, when he's building up play, he rely on his centre back to build up play. So he need guys that are good on the ball. So I always feel like the centre back position was something that we were going to address. And now it's looking at we haven't addressed it. Varane is already injured. You go Maguire, where the manager don't fancy him, or the two, and Lindelof too is a player where you just never know what to expect from him. He's not consistent across the whole season too. So I feel like we bind the players, but we're still not addressing the key areas, and then we bind them, and then we're still going to end up at the same place where we were last season, you know. And that's my feeling behind it. I just don't understand the whole signings and the project. I'm very confused about what the project is right now, Structure. If I'm honest with you, I'm confused by that.
You know what? It's really interesting in terms of that. We actually could see last season what he was trying to do with the players that he bought in last season. But this season is very difficult. Suyash, big up to you, brother. Who do you think in terms of Mount? What do you think about the Mount signing? Are you there, Suyash?
Yeah.
What do you think what do you think the plan is behind it? I know he's off the ball. He's got energy, obviously. He's got that intelligence in terms of taking manager's instructions. He can press in the certain areas. He can do but we needed players who are good on the fucking ball, bro.
Yeah, I was saying this. I was saying this. We just got a polished version of Fred. By that I mean, like, the way Fred was used last season. He wanted the two attacking midfielders to press their two midfielders that were on the base. He tried that with Eriksen as well, but it didn't work. So with Mount, he knew that it would work. And on top of that, you get slightly better use of the ball. I wouldn't say he's like brilliant at it, but someone that can still receive the ball better than our other two midfielders, and then pass it simple. I think that's what Mount does. But yeah, like, we should have been much more creative with our two midfield signings. Like, if we go to planning and not look at just one player at a time, let's say you had a budget of 60-70 million for the midfield, then you could have spent that 25-30 million on some attacking midfielder from Liga. I don't know who. Could be Leffy, could be Kakare, and then your other portion could have gone to either a centre back or another midfielder that maybe, if you think you can get someone better than Amrabat, but then again we got both the midfielders that the manager has previously seen or worked with. So he'd seen Mount in the Eredivisie, Amrabat he'd worked with Utrecht. Like I've been saying since last summer, people like too many casual fans, they keep saying that the manager has to be back, like you have to give him whatever he asks for, but that's not how top clubs run. You don't give everything that the manager asks for. That's why you end up with someone like an Anthony for 90 million. You end up with a 60 million Casemiro that's probably going to last you just for one season, and then you get nothing in return. It goes back to the same problem where we do not generate money from sales. When you sell Anthony, you're not even getting half of what you paid for. This is like a vicious circle that we keep going on. We mentioned Maguire and McTominay. We should have sold them last summer when we knew they were not going to be starting players this season. Now the clubs have seen these guys are not starting players, so their values have dropped even further. And now we are just like penny pinching with both McTominay and Maguire when we could have sold them very easily.
We said no for 60 million for both.
Imagine 60 million. That could have got you like a fullback and a centre back. Not even 60. I think we were getting more. But yeah, that's the unfortunate.
With Amrabat, that's gonna be four midfielders that the manager have signed since he came to the football club. Because there's Casemiro, Mount. Who else am I missing? Eriksen.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's 4. But even with the 4 that has come in, I still have this feeling that we still need more in there, you know. So this is what I'm just trying to, because even Tim Hag, you know, last time I saw some qualities where before he came to the football club, he was talking about how the club have not been making good signings, and yet since he came in, we're still making signings, and it's like we're signing it, but then I still feel like we still need more, because to me, if you come in and you've signed 4 midfielders, one thing that we should not be worried about is the midfield. But looking at it this season, I still feel like that midfield still need a lot more work to be done on that. And I'm sure, bro, when he first came in, I feel like when he first came in, he had a plan. He had an idea, you know. He wanted your players like your Timber, your Frankie de Jong. But the minute that plan went to flames, I think this is when the contingency plan has not worked. You know, everybody, I always say it's like in boxing. Everybody have a game plan until you get punched in the face. Once you get punched in the face, then what happened? And I felt since he came in and he had that setback in that first window where he couldn't get the guys that he want, I think the plan since then has just not been good enough, you know. And to me, this was the window where even him himself to give up the recruitment team, they should have probably like taken a step back, because structure, we know how the owners are, you know. Our owners are not owners where you cannot correct your mistake in the transfer window. Once you get these players, most of the time you are stuck with them for a lot of the time. So to me, when you're planning, you need to be very careful in terms of like the owners that you're dealing with. But I think Tim Hag is making mistake with a lot of the managers that have been here, where they feel like they can go ahead, rush with the signings, and feel like they can correct it, because we all know that under the Glazers, you cannot correct the mistake. So if you know you cannot correct it, you have to be very careful in terms of like the transfer that you sanction, man. And I don't know, but I feel like if he's not careful, he's gonna end up with a lot of players that he don't like, and then he's gonna struggle to move them on, you know. And I feel like we're heading to that place slowly. We're heading there.
Yeah, it's fascinating because this club, that's one big thing. Unless the players' transfer runs out, unless the players literally see out their contract, because the Glazonomics, we sign players on a spreadsheet. Okay, we sign them on a spreadsheet. We don't sign the quality of the player, how good the player, the attributes of the player. We just sign them for the length of the contract, and that's what the Glazonomics is. We sign players on bookkeeping, in terms of what bookkeeping means, people. If you know, you know. If you're into your finance, I have to go and educate myself on what these means. So if the player then sees out his contract, that is good for the Glazers. For Glazonomics, that's good. That is like thumbs up. Player has seen out his contract means good. And in football, it don't work like that. To run a football club, it's not like a business, like a corporate business model. You cannot. Football business is totally different to any other form of commercial business. So it's it's shocking for me. Big up, Mr. M. Answer says, we have the highest revenues in English football. Facts. But we are £1 billion in debt and few interest rate rises away from becoming bankrupt. Facts. But nobody wants to talk about that difficult situation, innit? Listen, like the video. There's all 220 of you in here. Big up to everybody. Love and light. I asked before, did you answer your preferred, actually, NK? I'll stay with you. Preferred 3 in midfield.
Honestly, if I have to have my preferred one, to me, it will be Mount, Kobe, and Amrabat. That to be will be my preferred one. But I know the manager cannot do it. You know, I know cannot do it. Even structured with the Amrabat thing, I feel like Amrabat is going to be a player that will come and sit on the bench. I don't see him coming to start. I really don't see him coming to start because I still feel like Casemiro will be ahead of him. I don't know whether he's going to do Casemiro and Amrabat. But then again, too, you got Mount inside. So what is the plan? You know, and as I said to you, I am waiting to see what the plan is. Because if you bought Amrabat in and Mount is your signing, naturally those players normally go into the first 11. But I feel more to I don't know, but I'm waiting to see what the plan is with Amrabat. I'm really waiting because I feel like it's just going to be a guy that come there and be a squad player or a cover up to Casemiro. I really do. And if that's the case, why make the player go through all that trouble, go through strike just so that he can come here and sit on your bench, you know? But anyway, time will find out what the plan is with Amrabat because a lot of the signings, even with Eriksen, he signed him last season. This season came in and it looked like he was ready to cast him down there, you know? So, but then if you buy a player, you need to have a long-term plan for these players, you know, regardless of their age or you need to have a plan for them, you know, to say, okay, I'm bringing Eriksen inside because I need this and I need so and so. And then when the time comes, maybe year 1, this is the role he's going to play. Year 2, I'm going to get this for inside and they're going to play this kind of like role. But I'm struggling to see that, though. But I don't know. We will see what the role is with Amrabat. We're going to see what the plan is because I feel like he's just rushing to bring these players in because they feel like he might need the bodies. But then once they come here, that's when he starts to kind of like figure out what their role is. Because I see a lot of them like he's always like trying on the football pitch. He's always like trying and stuff like that too. But I'm waiting to see what it is.
I agree, and you know what? Big up Asad Mohammed. He says Amrabat can play on Sunday. You have to be registered on midday today. I definitely do not think he's going to play. He's not kicked 1 minute of competitive football this season. I don't know how much he played of the preseason for Fiorentina, but he's not kicked any ball in competitive. I think after this game, it's the international break. And big up to the people who pointed out we could lose him on Unana in January. And January is the tough period, man. It's the tough period. One of the reasons why Fergie always literally went against signing African players is because of that January.
so with Amrabat, obviously, when he come in, he's going to need some time to kind of like settle into the team and settle in the league. But it looked like right when he's about to settle into the team, he then have to go to the African nations. And that's going to disrupt that. And then when he come back, I don't know, but as I said to you, I just feel like for this season alone, he's going to be a player that kind of like get used as a squad player. But then with his age too, he's a 27-year-old guy. So he's not a guy that you buy to just come and be a squad player. He's just a guy that you just buy to say, okay, you know what, you are ready. And that's another thing to structure that I'm also struggling to do in terms of like what team we're building. Because when it comes to the attacking players, we seem to be buying young players that you buy them to say, okay, you know what, they're not players that you want to put pressure for them to do it now. You know, you look at Anthony, you look at Holland, they're just young players. But then when he comes to the midfielders, he seems to be buying experienced players who are ready to do it now. You know, I always believe if you're building a team, you build a team that maybe it's a cycle. So if they're all going to play together now, in 3 or 4 years' time, you kind of like recycle it and so like. But I said to you, I'm struggling to just know, are you building a team to win now? Or are you building a team to probably like challenge in like 3 or 4 years? I'm just confused by that. I'm really, only time will tell. Only time will tell what the plan is.
Yeah. Big up to Khalees from Medina Lassie. Big up everybody in the chat. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. On this channel, it's the Red Raw Realist Pod, people. It's the Red Raw Realist Pod. This is what this podcast is. It's a deadline day special. And we're going to be back later on tonight with Arsenal, Manchester United preview. A big game on Sunday. A game where we can get exposed if we're not careful. But big up everybody in the chat. I just picked out a couple of chats here. This is one of the most interesting things from Natalie. So let me get this right. We've got Regularly on. We get Regularly who doesn't. Big up Suyash. Hopefully can come back. He's back, people. Regularly, he doesn't even play regular loan. So what's the young left back Aaron supposed to do? Well, apparently he's going out to Preston. To Granada in Spain on loan after being at Preston. After winning, Suyash, the young player of the year at Preston. The Championship is one of the most competitive leagues and top leagues in Europe. They play every 3 days. Suyash is having a problem with his connection. Hopefully he'll be back soon. But this player, Reguilón, NK, played last season, played 2 games, and came on and had 16 contributions in terms of overall. So last season, he played 2 games for Atletico Madrid. 2. Just 2 games, and came on and was involved in 11. He came on for 10 minutes here, 5 minutes there. That's where he came on. Manchester United are giving him 120 grand a week for a player, and then he played 1 game in pre-season.
See, that's the bit that I struggle with, because I mean, with Coca-Cola, the Chelsea one, I did understand it, but to me, once that deal did not go through, this is when I think as a club you take a back to say, hey, you know what, we got a young player here where we send him on loan. We've seen the progress that he done there, so we're gonna make him as a backup, because I feel like Dalot is still gonna play as the left back, and this guy's gonna be a backup to him. So why can you not use Alvaro Fernandez as the backup, especially if this loan deal they're looking to terminate it in January? I think between now to January, I don't see how you go wrong with Fernandez as a backup. And if you go young players to where you don't have a plan for them in terms of like how they get into the first team, then you need to what do you call it? You need to sell them. We've done the same thing with Pelistri, where he's been in and out of loan. Last season he stayed at the football club, hardly got minutes. This season too, he's staying too. So that's another thing too that the club need to kind of like do. What is the plan for these young players? Because after some time, I feel like you need to make the decision on whether you want to keep them at the football club, whether you want to sell them. So when the pathway is not, because assistant, we got what? Leauge just got a new contract, which I did find it very surprising about that contract anyway, because structure. We all knew that he was going to get injured after he got a contract. Everybody knew. It wasn't a secret. We knew that. You also got Malacia today too. So it looked like we got 2 left back that can potentially be here for the next 3 to 4 years. So again, if that's the case, that means that the pathway for Fernandez is not there. So if that's the case, sell the boy. Sell him. This loan move after loan move is not going to help. Sell him right now. He went on a loan move. He is on form. Make some money out of it. If there's no pathway for him in the first team, just do that.
It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And the biggest thing about one of the 2 things that we were sold on Erik ten Hag becoming our manager, Suyash, was the how he gets quality, he gets the best out of young players specifically, and the style of football. But Reguilón, I was just explaining. I don't know if you could hear me while you were having internet issues, Suyash. We were just basically explaining and saying the guy was on loan from Spurs last season at Atletico Madrid. He started 2 games all of last season, and he had 11. With the 2 starts altogether was 11 involvements in terms of action last season, and that's the Liga. And he only played 1 pre-season game for Ange, the Spurs manager, and he was like, "I'm done out here." But we're giving him, is it a year, if I'm not mistaken? Somebody said it might be 6 months. I don't know if Manchester United have confirmed it or not.
Year, but with an option to cut it short in Jan. So yeah, like NK was saying, this is just a cover. You just need a body in case Dalot gets injured too, because I feel like we'll stick with Dalot and AWB for long till he drops one of them. With at least with Cucurella, I could see the potential. I was hoping that even though we are not getting him for long term, if he was going to play well, I was hoping that we could sell then one of Shaw or Malacia, preferably Shaw because of his age and what we could get out of him. But is now just because of that one game that he played, we went back to Reguilon, shows that we are just concerned about the next 2 to 3 months. We want him to be like, we want to pack the fullback back to the club again, and that's why we went with Reguilon. So yeah, like in one way I'm still happy for Alvaro, because if he was going to be staying here, he was not going to get more than 2 games at best. So at least if he goes out on loan, he can get games. But if he stays here, then yeah, it's a waste of another youngster, like for one more season. Like last year we did with Iqbal and Hannibal and so many players.
Big up to Man UFC Realist TV. Yeah, he had Alfredo Padilla on his channel. Listen, we understood that this guy, I feel bad for him. And now, like NK said, if he comes and sits on the bench, it's going to be heartbreaking for him. He said no to Barcelona. He said no to so many teams. He rejected Nottingham Forest. He rejected many teams and went on strike to become here, like NK said. And if he's not being played, doesn't become one of the key components of that Manchester United midfield, then I feel bad for him. I genuinely feel bad for him. Listen, we got Eski in the house, man. Eski, I know you're a massive Amrabat fan, like Saeed. Are you giddy today? Are you giddy?
I am, but you got to context the whole thing. You have to context the whole window, and it's not been good. That's why it puts a downer on it. Yeah, we've got Amrabat, but on the last hour, like, okay, like again, like we're all saying, he's not at the preseason. We know we should have got him from ages ago. He's the obvious signing. You get him in too late. Like, yeah, I'm buzzing, but even against I'd still, like you asked the question before, I'd still rate the transfer window like 4, 5 at the max. But that's a very generous one. It's a 3 or a 4, man. It's not been good enough. We still need another defender, another midfielder, and another forward. So how can I say we're coming into the season with 3 key positions short and we've had a decent window? We've not. Yeah, I'm happy we've got Amrabat and it's good, but at the same time, overall, it's not been good enough. But I think part of me, and again, we're talking about the youngsters and Ten Hag. Part of me is there like he's let me down, and the club's let him down as well at the same time. The club shackled him, and I don't know why, for whatever reason, he's not giving Fernandez a chance or Iqbal a chance, or these guys. If they're not good enough, they're not good enough. But let us see them at least. We've not even seen these guys in the United shirt to make that opinion. So that's the only thing I have to say. But Amrabat coming in is a 2 thumbs up for me. Very good signing.
Yeah, let's hope he plays for your sake, for you, Saeed's sake, all the Amrabat fans out here. I really hope he plays and he fulfills and he settles in quickly and he kicks on. Even though, like we said, like people pointed it out, if Morocco and Cameroon are in the AFCON, they're gone in January, so we're without them for a month. Big up to everybody. Khalees is saying Ten Hag has too much control, but blame the Glazers for the lack of balance between director of football and Ten Hag. And Georgie B here says, Giorgio B said, if you were Ten Hag, would you take Murtough from accommodations? Nah, mate, I wouldn't. It's crazy, people. It's absolutely crazy. For me, the biggest thing that I realized, I think, is another window and Manchester United. How many senior players did we get rid of? Fred, De Gea. Who else did we get rid of?
Dean Henderson.
No. Talk about senior, the guys who were in the team and played.
That's about it, really.
So we've still got McTominay, the manager doesn't rate. Maguire, the manager doesn't rate. Van der Beek, the manager doesn't want.
Well, I think he's still there, actually. I forgot about him. Yeah, he's still here.
Yeah. Eric Bailly, who wasn't even in the team but has played previously for Manchester United. And as far as I'm concerned, yeah, these guys are not done. So this, to me, is on these clowns. The clowns like Murtough and Arnold who were telling you, yeah, we're going to be doing this. I don't bring therapy. I mean, we didn't buy into any of that BS. We kept it 100 from day dot. We said it's going to be Panic FC again. Because you know how I know? Your CEO is on record saying we like transfer speculations because it brings more interactions with our social media. This club is asked and bothered about social media interactions more than they bothered about to fixing this football team. To me, I can never say the word properly, and people try to shade me, but it is what it is. Strategy. Manchester United, zero strategy.
With what do you call it? With that anyway, like assistant now, McTominay. I don't see him getting game time because you brought Amrabat inside. So, because we are even sitting here talking about what Amrabat role is going to be. But the question is, what is Scott McTominay role going to be going forward now? And this is a player that you rejected money for. So, if he had less football time this season, his value is going to go down. So, that 30 million that they rejected, come January or end of next summer, is going to be less. So, again, the planning is very bad. You know, because if you knew that you were always going to get Amrabat, because me, for example, I always knew that they were going to bring players in regardless of whether they sell players or not, you know. So Amrabat is a player that is coming now. But then now what that means is that you got Scott McTominay in there. You didn't accept a bid for him. And he's going to have more limited role this season than he did last season. And it's going to make his value go down, you know. But I'm sure the club is very happy that he's going to sit on the bench because the whole narrative during the summer window is like, we don't want to sign him. He's going to play a key part into it. But he's not going to play no key part. He really is not going to play no key part. He is not, you know?
NK, I know for 100% fact that it was a club propaganda to push it that, oh yeah, he's wanted at Bayern Munich.
I was asking when did Tuchel even start to even want a McTominay? I'm thinking what happened when he went to Germany? Like I was very confused by that. I'm thinking what happened to him when he went there to be wanted to call McTominay? But we all know he didn't want him at the end of the day, you know. And you know, for a player like Scott too, look, you also have to feel for him too, because now he's gonna have to stay there, not game time, and he's a player too that deserves to be playing football, regardless whether he's good enough for Man United or not. He needs to be going to your clubs like your Fulham, your West Ham to be playing football. But then now what we're gonna do is we're gonna keep him here. He's not gonna do that, and as the fans, we're gonna channel our energy towards him being there and not doing nothing. When the blame is not on him, because I feel like if they accepted a bid, he'll be happy to go play football because he want to play football. He'll be happy to go do that.
100%. Suyash, I'll come to you, brother. I mean, now Manchester United have had disgruntled, unless something happens in the next couple of hours. Eric Bailly, still registered Manchester United. Donny van der Beek, who I personally believe will ruin his football career. Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire. That's sketchy. That's not good for a manager, is it? To make enemies in terms of especially the British quartet. You know, the British guys, Scott McTominay and Harry Maguire, who were at time were seen as leaders of this football club. What do you think to that? Suyash, you there? I think he might be busy.
Sorry.
Yeah. What I was saying about what's the point of having Scott McTominay and Maguire when both of them are not wanted by the managers made it more clear than anybody else. Do you think that could affect the balance and the atmosphere in the club?
Yeah, for sure. But more importantly, it's affecting this window. Like I was saying earlier, we always sell players a year or two late. We've done this with previous managers as well. So it's a bit of both, like the manager wanting to have extra bodies for the sake of it, and the club really not, willing to take that 5 million, 10 million immediate loss, but then letting players go for free or even lesser, like the next window. So if you knew like you were not going to start Maguire, you should have sold him last year when his value was even higher, probably higher last year. He's not sold this year. His value is even like lower next season. If you just compare that to what Chelsea do, they sell their players before they become bench players. Just look at the midfielders that they sold, the centre backs they sold. They were sold when last year they were regular players. So it's not like these guys are like suddenly not playing football. We are selling players when they're completely inactive. We did the same when we could have sold Bailly a lot earlier when he was active and when your manager knew he was not going to start games, but we kept him and there was no point. But we keep doing this. We are going to do this with McTominay and Maguire as well. That's all I have to say.
Yeah, big up, man. Mick, jump on if you want to jump on. At the end of the day, it's simple, people. Manchester United do what Manchester United do. They actually spent, that's what the most frustrating thing about this club for me is the fact that, we spent more time on propaganda and try to brainwash the fan base than we actually do of solving the real issues at the football club. That's one thing I will never understand. More things to cover up, to polish up, to have it spin, and then some of the fans who are just brainwashed will just buy it. Because I also understand that some of the fans do not want to say anything, do not want to think bad of their football club. But obviously, and some of them are just want to watch the game. Win, United win, they're happy. United lose, they're a bit. They're not like us. We're football nerds. Eski, we're football nerds. But Reguilón, for me, is the one that I just do not understand, honestly. I do not understand this, paying this guy. Why is Levy? You know you got a problem. You've got a problem with whatever you're getting if Levy's letting you go on loan. Levy.
With no loan fee too. With no loan fee.
Eski, do you know Reguilón? I know that we wanted him. I think it was Eric. I think it was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was looking at him, and he wanted him. Eski, are you there, bro?
Yeah, sir.
Yeah. He wanted him. So what do you think about that?
Do you know what? I was watching. I've seen him a few times. He is half decent, but I was watching Stephen Howson did a reaction thing to him in it. You know, he's a fucking nerd like us as well, and he was saying, do you know what? He can swing a crossing on his left foot. On his right foot, it's a bit like Ashley Young. He puts it at the back stick. And I've got a mate who's a Tottenham fan. He was there like, you're going to get more offensively out of him than you are defensively. But I'm like, right, okay. I'm not sure if that's good or not, but okay. But I think it's okay. So it's just a patchwork thing. I can't really rate a signing you get to cover someone who's injured. Because you know, Man United, the fucking reactionary FC, I don't know how you feel about that. Let's say we went out and we planned to get a left back. I could give you a better answer, but we've just signed a random left back. So I can't give too much of an answer. I just heard he's got a good left foot on him in terms of a cross. That's it.
Well, all I'm saying, he made 2 appearances last season alone at Atletico Madrid, and then he had another 9 appearances where he came in as a substitute. It's an absolute joke. He played 1 game in pre-season, and we're giving him 120 grand a week.
Yeah, but fuck that. Martial had like 6 appearances for Valencia and come back and thought he could play football for us. It's a joke everywhere.
Let me just get the super chat here. Tom Galworthy said Ryan G was the star at Ajax. We got the rubbish. Listen, Liverpool moved. To be fair, you got to be said about our competitive. Liverpool got rid of and bought in 4 midfield players. 4 midfield players. Boom, done it. They did it. Listen, I want to move on to a bigger thing, by the way. So big up to everybody. Smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. We're going to be live later on tonight as well with a match, the preview. So if you know any Arsenal fans, let them know, man, innit? We can talk about it on here. So big up to every one of you. Paulinha deal collapsed. Whoa.
Yo, really?
I wanted Paulinha. I actually rate Paulinha as a top number 1 target for me as a defensive midfield player. I genuinely rate him, and his stats there prove it. He is a fantastic player, Paulinha. Leauge, as a tactical, talk to me about Paulinha. What do you think about him as a player?
I think he's better than Casemiro for sure.
100% million.
But I've got an obsession with players that play well with the ball, especially for if we want to do better. Then, like, if you're going to give me Amrabat or Paulinha, I'm going to pick Amrabat. Like, I'm not just saying this based on bias, but it's just my opinion. I would even pick Mainu over Paulinha. Just the kind of football I like to see. Because if you gave me Paulinha or Casemiro, I would have picked Paulinha because he's at least got the ears and legs in him. But yeah, it's a bit of a weird one because even Bayern never goes for players like that. Even they get cultured defensive midfielders. They used to have Xabi Alonso. They used to have Philipp Lahm in the later years. So it's an odd one with me because I think Tuchel, McTominay, even if it's false, then Paulinha, like it's just too much physicality and intensity rather than the brains like on the ball.
Okay, big up. Lee Edson is basically educating us. Big up to my brother, Fiorentina fan. He said he played 2 games because he had a okay. He also did not strike. So we're buying another injured player then. We'll have to make a decision and we'll wait for United. Yeah, okay. So he's played 2 games. the Gravenberch deal is in danger. Wow. Okay. Okay, that's interesting. Mick, I've sent you the link if you want to jump on. Listen, guys, we know Manchester United transfer were a joke. Everybody knows it. None of you are shocked or surprised by this. I was never surprised. I was never shocked. It was what it was. Considering Eric Ten Hag criticizing Oli for not playing Donny, I saying mortal sin, Ten Hag has been a hypocrite, I know. By the way, not Ten Hag. No, you can listen. You can point that out. He is a hypocrite. He is a hypocrite. But like NK said, soon as he could not get Timber and Frankie de Jong, he abandoned that shit of the style of football he wanted to play at Manchester United. After that, he's been making it up as he goes along. Let's be right. The football since January has stunk out the place. The results might have been all right, but the football has stunk out the place. But listen, I want to get into the Champions League group, people, because since I've got you here, we're going to start making predictions. We're going to make predictions. Breaking, I'm saying here, Klopp will be snubbed. Paulinha deal collapse after Gravenberch, who's just doing his medical. Oh, okay. It's moving. It's fast-paced moving. But to me, the biggest thing I'm concerned about is Manchester United. So let me just get to this. Big up to every one of you. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. So we'll go with this. To me, the biggest thing is, well, the propaganda that the club has been pushing, which I am absolutely not here for, is an absolute lot of waffle, is we need to sell to buy. And the other thing has been Manchester United need to basically FFP. Manchester United sold youth players and former youth players altogether at least made 50 million in the transfer market this summer. But then every journalist is repeating the same BS. FFP. We made profit. You know, from youth players, it's straight up profit. The only player that we've got rid of, that we've actually sold on a loss, was Fred. Everybody else Manchester United sold so far has been a youth player or a former youth player. So all of that is profit. Money in the cha-ching-ching goes off the offset of financial fair play. But you've got even YouTubers like Flex, and I'll call him out again, buying the propaganda. I know that he has to say it on Sky, and then it's interesting when he's on United Fuse, not repeating the same talking points. Very fascinating, isn't it? Very fascinating. But do not be brainwashed. And that absolute clown, Laurie Whitwell, absolute clown. You call yourself a fan and you're blatantly lying to the fans. Blatantly making a video lying to the fans about FFP. You absolute... I'll leave it. I'll leave it there. But listen, people, let's get into this. So it was a Champions League draw yesterday. We saw what we saw, people. We saw what we saw. And it was what it was. Here it is. We've got it. By the way, I set a challenge for the Twitter followers. I set everybody a challenge on the Twitter, yeah? And I basically said to people, I posted this and I posted Eric Cantona. And the only reason why I posted Eric Cantona, because it won to show the people who follow if they get it. And the reason why I posted Eric Cantona, 2 little gifts, is because of Galatasaray. If you know, you know. The sign said, welcome to hell. And the other sign said, you're not leaving alive. And where Eric Cantona down the tunnel is fighting with policemen who are Galatasaray fans. Absolute mad. It seems like hundreds of years ago now, but that's what happened. So going away to Galatasaray again for Manchester United is going to be one interesting thing. Very interesting, that one. Let's get into it. So we're in Group A, people. Obviously, Bayern Munich, Manchester United, Copenhagen, Galatasaray. I can go on to too much about it. Obviously, Copenhagen is going to be very interesting time for Højlund. He's going to go back to his club. Big up, Mick. Mick, I need you, before we quickly just get into this segment, I need you to rate the transfer window. Quickly. Can you hear us? Mick, 1 2 1 2, Mick. You can't hear us. Everybody else can hear me. Maybe you should jump out and come back.
Yeah, I had to do that earlier.
Yeah.
To jump out.
Yeah. So hopefully it'll come back. But I'll just go quickly, guys. Obviously, it's going to be a nice return for Hoyland going back to his boyhood club. Well, the club that gave him a bit of it, but then got rid of him. Copenhagen. Maybe he'll go back there with a vengeance. Bayern Munich are a world football power. We know who they are. So I'll go to NK first. NK, who's getting out the group on this one, bro? Who's getting out the group? This is the predictions, people. This is the predictions.
I think once again it was structured. The last time we were in the Champions League group and that we failed to make it out, it was because of a Turkish team, you know.
Basistas.
Yeah. So we know how it is. To be honest, look, I feel like for us to get out of the group, it's going to depend on what we do at home. You know, the home form is very, very key. If you are able to win your home games and try to beat Copenhagen away, I feel like that might be enough. But whether we can get something from Bayern Munich is going to be a determining factor, because Galatasaray, I think, is going to be a difficult game. We know this team struggle away from home, especially in those type of like environment. But I'm hoping we might go through with Bayern Munich. I'm just hoping that we do enough at home, and even if our way is not good, we probably just do enough against Copenhagen to get that 12 point potentially to kind of like get out of the group. So I'll go with Bayern and Man United. I'll go
big up, brother. So we're gonna go. So Bayern and Manchester United in that too. Okay, Suyash, who's getting out of the group?
If you don't get like minimum 10 points, it's embarrassing. I feel like, no disrespect to them, but we should be getting both the home wins versus Copenhagen and Galatasaray. So that's a 6. And then even if you draw versus them away, should still be getting another 3 versus Copenhagen away. So that's your 10 points. I'm hoping we win versus Bayern, but even if I strike that out as 2 losses, there should be 10 points still. So that should be the minimum that we should be getting.
Hello, big up. What happened?
Big up, mate.
Hey, I just came in. Where is Nura?
I think we lost the host.
Richard Arnold going again.
Yeah, but Mick, he was asking you about rating your transfer window, so maybe you can start from there.
Oh, screw this transfer window. I'm done.
Yeah.
I've been up since 6:30, 3 hours of sleep every day. So I'm just like, anyway, listen, this is sick what's going on right now. Gravenberch deal might be in danger. He's completed his medical, but, medical doesn't mean anything until you sign the paper. Paulinha collapsed. So will this mean that they will retract the Gravenberch deal? Screw me. I mean, this is madness. What's going on right now, man?
Listen, I'll stay with you, Mick. Manchester United, Bayern Munich, Kobe. We're predicting who's going to get out of the group. Who's going out of the group in that game?
Be Bayern and United for sure, 100%.
Okay, I'll move on to Sia. Sia, who's going out of the group, and I'll come back to you, Mick, in a minute. Go ahead. Sia.
Yeah, I already predicted or sort of laid my expectations. We should be getting
10 points,
10 points, 10 points minimum. Yeah,
and one draw away.
One draw away at Galatasaray. At the worst, even if we count both losses versus Bayern, that's still 10 points. Should be getting 10. No excuse.
Okay, Eski.
Yeah, we'll get 3, man. Us and Bayern.
Okay, I'll stay with you, Eski.
Go on.
Group B. Is it Sevilla, Arsenal, PSV, and Lens?
Arsenal. That's some shit group, man. Do you know? They got lucky there. Do you know what? If PSV keep their players, I'd say Arsenal, PSV. Even though Sevilla are no mugs, man, but they're Europa League team, man. Let's be honest.
Okay, that's interesting. Oh my God, Evans signed a year deal, 1 year deal. A guy who got relegated and is 35 years old. Wow. We are the original. We are the banter club. This is who we are as a football club. And you know what? That's on Erik ten Hag as well. Two signings on Erik ten Hag. It's Evans and bloody Mason. But it is what it is. Mason Mount. I'll go to you, NK. Who's getting out of the group, man? Who's getting out of the group? Arsenal, PSV.
I think it will be Arsenal and Seville. I think that the two of them go. Yeah, I think they should get the group. PSV are a dark horse in that group, but I'll go with Arsenal and Seville.
And I'll stay with you. Group C: Napoli, Real Madrid, Union Berlin, and Braga. Is it Braga?
Roland Napoli.
Okay. Go ahead, Mick. Who's getting out of that group?
Oh, I don't see Arsenal getting out of Group B. I see Sevilla and PSV. Honest to God. Screw that. Where are we? Which group you said? Napoli?
C. We're in C. We're in C now, yeah.
Oh,
Napoli,
100%
Real
Napoli
Madrid.
and Real Madrid.
Okay. Union Berlin's first time, I think, in a long time they're in that. I'll stay with you, Mick, on Group D. Benfica, Inter, Salzburg, and Sawyer.
Ooh. Benfica,
I think
Inter.
Yeah, Benfica, Inter. Okay. Real Solidad play really nice football, though. I like them.
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Yeah. Eski, Napoli, Real for you?
Yeah, it has to be, man. Has to be.
And Group D, Benfica, Inter?
No, I'm going to go Salzburg, Inter.
Ooh, there you go. He's going for it. To be fair, Salzburg have done well recently in the Champions League. I'll stay with you on this one. Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, Celtic.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what? Atletico definitely, and we'll go.
If
We'll
Lazio could be signing Mason Greenwood, by the way.
I was going to say, let's just go Lazio. Yeah, Lazio.
Okay. Mick, who's NK? Go back to NK. NK, Arsenal going out. Napoli, Real Madrid going out of there.
No, yeah, I've already done that one. But who's in the Atletico Madrid group?
It's Atletico Madrid group is Feyenoord, Atletico Madrid, Lazio, and Celtic.
Atletico and Lazio.
Atletico, Lazio. Okay.
Yeah.
That's the other group, the group of death, as they call it. NK, I stay with you. Paris Saint-Germain, Borussia Dortmund, AC Milan, and Newcastle. Who's getting out of that group?
That one, I'll go with PSG, and I will go with AC Milan. I'll go with Milan. I think Newcastle are gonna do well, but I just think AC Milan with European experience is gonna take that second place of them. So I'll go with AC Milan and PSG.
Wow.
Wow.
Who's going through on that one? Who's going through in the Real Madrid? Real Madrid and as Group C and Group D. Tell me who's going through there? You there, Siyash? I'll come back to him. Mick.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going through out of the group of death? Paris, Dortmund.
I can't call it. This is a banana skin. Can go either way. Depends on Newcastle. I don't think so. No, they're back for many years. If you're gonna go by the name, I go by AC Milan and Paris.
Okay, interesting. And who did
you?
Me. I don't know I'm not sure about Milan this season. You know. I'm genuinely not sure. But you know what? I'll go Borussia Dortmund and Paris Saint-Germain.
Oof, you go hard.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to go. We've got Group G, Man City, Leipzig. I can't even say it.
Crvena Zvezda. They are Belgrade.
Yeah. And Young Boys.
Don't even have to do that one. Just go to the next two.
It's Manchester City and Leipzig, innit? Manchester City, Leipzig.
It has to be those two.
Yeah, see, who's going through Dortmund? You were there. You were missing Dortmund, Paris, AC Milan, Newcastle. Group of death.
I feel like Dortmund won't be consistent. So AC, they've got a nice front three this season, and PSG, Newcastle. I don't think they have the technicality for the Champions League. Maybe just now.
It's funny. Nobody has chosen Newcastle to get through. And the last group, I'll stay with you, Siyash. Barcelona, Porto, Shakhtar, and Antwerp. I'm not sleeping on Shakhtar, even though it's a terrible time for them over there.
Yeah, everyone does the safe with these sort of groups. Barcelona and Porto, to be fair.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with you, mate.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mick. Is it Barcelona, Porto?
I agree with what the previous gentleman said. I Barcelona, Porto to me.
Yeah. NK, you agree with that?
Yeah. Barcelona, Porto always get to the group. After that, that's when they just go out. So yeah, I expect those two.
Fascinating. Yeah, you know what? And there's your predictions, people. Some people have been predicting Newcastle and Dortmund. Somebody said here, Newcastle, all these teams, Paris and Milan, Barca, Porto, young boys, PSG and Newcastle, Shakhtar to and Porto. Wow. Some people are going for the unfancied. This is on the signing of Johnny Evans. This is where your football club is, people. If any of you want to ever know where your football club is at, this is John Murtough's statement on Johnny Evans. Big up Khalifa Medina, last achievement at United Real Therapy. John is a winner who's experienced everything in the game. These characteristics are invaluable to the culture that we are building here. His attitude and work ethic are second to none. And Eric and the coaching staff know he's someone they can rely on whenever needed this season. We welcome back Johnny and hope we can add further achievement to his success he's already enjoyed at this club.
He's got to go.
Please, people, I beg you. Listen, we're going to end on this one, but genuinely, guys, are we in the mud? To me, no other statement tells me that we're in the mud as a football club than that.
We're in a big mud, man. We're in a big mud. As I said to you, it looked like another top 4 fight this season, man. So I hope we are ready for that. But
listen, brace yourself. We always speak about this Neil Ashton PR spin, right? I got information earlier today that brace yourself. It's going to be a PR statement regarding Amrabat as a last signing. Look, we saved the day, right? Because it's been such a bad press regarding Arnold and Murtough, and they're going to portray John Murtough as the hero here, right? But the
what? It's worked, Mick. Some of the fan base are getting giddy already.
But I'm telling you, the true fact is that the Glazers almost fucked up this whole deal, right? The Glazers, this deal with Amrabat, the truth is, was already completed weeks ago, but the Glazers blocked it. They want to have cheaper alternatives, right? So they waited to the fucking very end. They realized they could not get any cheaper alternatives. So they finally came to this agreement, and it came down to a loan with an obligation to buy, right? This is how cheap the fuckers are, to be honest. And to come out with this statement like this, is your penny pinching, because they're going to bin dip into the profits of what we're selling. If you do the calculations, Nerdin, we sold for about 90 million, right? No, hang on. How much did we sell for? 50, 60, something, 90, right? We saved salary wage cuts on about 50, 60 approximately. That is about, 120, right? And to come up with this fucking statement is just shambolic.
No,
right?
Mick, it's even what's worse. You know what they said? FFP. Even though we've sold majority of homegrown base.
Fake fucking, sorry for swearing. This is your channel, right?
Tell it, Mick. Swear.
I don't do that on my channel, but I call it fake financial predictions, right? But fake fucking predictions. That's what it is. You just at the end of the day, it's all about squad evaluation, because the overall evaluation of the club, Manchester United squad, is approximately worth 960 million pounds on the market, right? And that is all baked into the overall evaluation of the sales price, right? So that's one of the reasons why they blocked the McTominay move and Maguire move, to be honest. I just found out today as well. So and that is Glazenomics at the fucking core, right? We always sit there at the end of the window waiting for Joe Glazers to sort of push the button, right? So we almost didn't get this Amrabat over the line. But so big up for Amrabat for protesting. I call him Sir Amrabat, for actually just wanting to come to United, rejecting every fucking single move, for being resolute, for handing in a transfer request. If it wasn't for Amrabat, we wouldn't get him over the line actually today.
Listen, Mick, I'm going to stay with you. Quickly, our rivals transfer. Man City's transfer. Well, how much are you ranking that?
I don't fucking rank City because of the financial 150.
No, but okay.
I'm gonna be fair. Yes, if they get this guy over the line, Matheus Nunes is a fucking good signing, a good acquisition. So they've done well, to be honest, right?
Liverpool?
Not. Depends on if this Gravenberch falls apart now. We see. No, I don't think Liverpool has done so well.
Chelsea?
Nope.
Newcastle?
Good. Yeah, they've done well. Tonali and yeah, they're looking quite good actually. Yeah.
Okay. NK, City transfer rate their window. Good.
But I'm going to stop. Look, because of the way we've been behaving, I haven't been following the other transfers because I don't want to be depressed by the stuff that are going on there. So I don't even know who they sold and who they bought. To be honest with you, like I've
Kova, they got Kova from Chelsea. They got Guardiola. They've got Nunes. They're signing that Belgian winger. If I'm not mistaken, they signed him already.
About Pep is that, he always seems to, when he buy players, people like, he always seems to know the plan behind it. Whether it's a player that he's going to use in a year's time or so, there's always like kind of like a plan behind it. So if he's getting these players, I'm sure come during the season or even next, you're going to see what the plan is. So with him, I don't know. It's just going to be one of those ones where he's going to benefit from that some way or the other, man. And with Liverpool too, they let a lot of players go, whether they've done a lot of business to be where they want to be in terms of like a title challenge. I'm not so sure about that, but it looked like Klopp is trying to like do another rebuild. But I worry for Liverpool though. I worry for Klopp this season. I feel like this might be the season where he actually call it quits, but only time will tell.
I agree with you. I agree.
Yeah,
he's got a little bit. I think he got a little bit complacent, to be honest. Like he's been there 8 years. Like it's time to go.
Yeah, I feel like they're building a young squad, but whether he's gonna get that time again for that young squad to kind of like be there again to challenge in the next like 2 to 3 years again, I'm not so sure about that too, man. But maybe it might be one of those ones where the players that he's buying is gonna be for someone else to kind of like develop them and go win something with them. I'm just not sure whether he's gonna be here for them to develop. I don't know, but we'll see about that.
Nuruddin, I kind of feel that this is gonna be a very surprise season, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
It's not gonna be that predictable.
It's gonna be very interesting. Suyash, who do you think out of the top 5, 6 who has had the best transfer window?
That's really tricky to answer. I feel like maybe Chelsea has had the best window because if I look at City, they are missing they let Gundogan go and they have Kevin De Bruyne injured, but they never got an attacking midfielder. So they used to get a lot of goals in the back end of the season that they used to push them. They don't have that this season, but Pep, like he'll come up with something that we've not imagined yet. But just looking at that, I feel like they have missing a role there. Arsenal, I think they've not signed a striker like someone that's proven, so I don't think they fill that gap there. Then I think Chelsea, because just the sheer amount of players that they've got, I think they've got enough options to move around and get through the season well. So I feel Chelsea's got the best window of the top teams.
Interesting. Yeah, they bought a lot of players. Listen, Nani Balling, you just need to tag me in a tweet or send me an inbox me on Twitter. DM me, bro. DM me. Get at me. I can't just send the link to where. Where am I going to send the link to? Shout out Mick Ruby. Shout out everybody, by the way, people. I think Gvardiol, Kova, Nunes. I think Nunes is going to see his role change. If they sign that Belgian winger, did they sign that? Did they sign that kid, the Belgian winger?
Yeah, Doku.
Yeah, Doku. Yeah, I think they're going to get goals. I think they're going to go. But I 100% agree with you in terms of De Bruyne and
Gundogan.
And Gundogan. Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. I don't know what's happened to Mick Ruby, but listen, I want to just say thank you to the brothers. And there's Mick's back. Mick's back. He's made his comeback. People, I need you to go and make sure you follow people. So make sure
I had to bring this. He was terrorizing outside the door like your Scholesy, so I had to go and get him. You want to say something?
He's so cute, man.
Are we going to sign any striker?
He's so cute.
Mbappe? Oh, yeah, you wish. Get out of here.
He can play up front.
He's 4-footed. Come on.
Yeah, he's 4-footed. Honestly, we could do with any of that. Listen, I needed to go and check out our NK. So NKDIOKOHTV, right? So I need you to go and check that out, people. So make sure you follow NK at NK DIKOHTV. Right? Go and check that out. Siash is there. You could see it. He's a football tactical, my brother. So Siash Insights, go and follow him on social media. Go and check him out. And then Mick Ruby is there, but it's Mick Manu FC Realist TV. He had the scoop on the Amrabat deal. Did the only I think the only person to sit down with the actual journalist who got this out first of all. Do you want to give people a little insight so you can go and check that interview out that you did with
no, it's all there. Like it's Alfredo Pedula. He's been spot on with the Onana deal, with the Højlund deal, and we've been working with him exclusively regarding Sofian Amrabat. So we were the first one to report around Sofian Amrabat's interest to Manchester United, and it's been tireless. And it's hard to see and heartbreaking to see that you have a bin dipper call for Fabrizio Romano come in and says, here we go, and takes all the glory. But it's all there. It's all time-stamped at the end of the day. What matters is that we got the player over the line that Ten Hag wanted. So I'm happy for that. Yeah,
man. Big up. We're going to be back, people. What, you got any shows planned this evening, mate?
Me? I'm so bloody tired. So I say maybe I do a... depends on... Are you doing anything?
I'm going to be doing an Arsenal preview later on.
I've done Arsenal preview, so I might go 9 o'clock and might do kind of like, the deadline, like everyone else is doing. Just a chill long.
Cool. I'm going to be live on the later one on Saeed TV, so you can find me on Saeed TV.
Oh, big up. Say hi to brother Saeed.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a countdown, so it is what it is. NK, are you going to be in the spaces, bro? What's the plan?
I think I'm probably just gonna wait until Saturday to just go after the Arsenal fans. That's all it is really. But yeah, morale is very low going into that game. But we always hope for the best, man. Always hope for the best.
Listen, guys, I had a show yesterday. I had two Gooners on, right? They didn't sound that confident, to be honest. They were a little bit rattled. Yeah,
it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting. Siash, what have you got planned, bro? Talk to us.
Nothing, just more of the usual.
You're gonna be in the space later on. You're gonna be space for the countdown later on.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, man. Listen, big up to everybody. Love and like. Please smash a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. I need you in the comments if you watch this video later. Look at the groups of the Champions League. Make your predictions. Also, I need you to tell me what 3 players you're picking in midfield. I forgot to ask Mick that. Mick, for Manchester United, which 3 are you picking in midfield? Quickly.
Oh, you just remind me I had to do the fantasy league. Oh, it's too late now. Damn, is it? For midfield, Amrabat, if he's playing, 100% Casemiro, Bruno. Yeah, that's it.
Okay, interesting. None of us.
And we have Rasmus Højlund. I'm gonna get in now. Rasmus Højlund on top. Get in, son. I'm getting reckless.
Big up, Nick. Listen, apparently he's going to start on Sunday, so we'll see. The manager.
Yeah, but you saw Erik ten Hag's presser. He was like giggling like a schoolboy.
Yeah, it's interesting. We'll see. Yeah. We'll see. We shall see. Sunday, I think massive pressure. The whole of the world is going to be watching him. We wish him well, and we want him to.
And
succeed.
On the left wing, it's going to be Reggie. Don't worry about a thing. Reggie long. All right, big up, people. TGIF.
That's it. That's it. Big up, love and like, people. Listen, please smash a like. Let me know in the comments. Yeah, rate the transfer window. Your 3 in midfield. Everybody who came on had a totally different midfield. None of us picked Bruno, by the way. None of us. We picked Kobe. We picked Amrabat, and some people have picked Mason Mount, and some of the people have picked Ericsson as well. What did you pick, NK? Manu?
I picked Amrabat, Manuel Mount.
Yeah, you picked. Siash picked Kobe, Amrabat, and Mason. So, Mick, you're the only one that stayed true to Bruno, but let's not get into it, eh? Not with
we
NK
don't
here.
talk about Bruno, no.
Actually, I did pick Bruno. My 2 other was common with NK. I just picked Bruno because we do not have anyone that's creative.
Yeah. Big up, brother. Big up. Listen, let us know in the comments, innit? But love and light. Peace. Take care, people. We'll be back around later on for the Glazers out, Bankers out. I'm going to see, because I got invited to a meal and I don't know if I can go and swing by the protest, but I don't really like protesting on deadline day, because for me, the Glaze is not always about the protest is not always about what we get. It's about the way they run the football club. But love and light. But take care. If you're in Manchester, go and check out the protest outside OT, people. Outside OT with 1958. Shout out to them as well. Love and light. See you guys in the spaces. Big love. Yeah, but big. Listen, this is your channel now. You both now. You made your debut, boys. Let me know when you want to come on. Peace.
Okay.
Glazers out, bankers out, people. Win, lose, or draw. It is what it is. For me, it's a 3 out of 10 transfer. Horrendous.
Yeah.
Horrendous. But all the madness crew, where are you? Come outside. There ain't none of you coming outside, are you? Take care. Love and light. Peace.
Peace.